As he mentioned, my name is Malaysia. I am an alum from Cal State, graduated March of 2017. So, go Yokes! It's a beautiful thing to be here tonight, so thank y'all for having me. I have never painted live before anybody before except for Instagram Live, and that does not count. So today, not only will I be finishing a piece for you, but I will also be discussing art therapy and how it has helped me and what it means to me and how I got on this journey to begin with. So is that okay with y'all tonight? Perfect, thank you. So this piece is very, very special to me. And although it has a name, as you can see, it's unfinished. And there's the light. I named this piece KJ's Ballad. KJ is my baby brother who is no longer here with us. And during that time period, I took it really, really personal because I felt that I had a part to play in him not being here anymore because he was born premature. At 6 months, 1 pound, 13 ounces. He was the tiniest little thing I'd ever seen in life. So I never really got over that. And today, under this full moon energy and under the fact that winter is closing and winter is the clearing phase, I'd like to finally release myself of this. And I thank y'all for being here with me to do this. So if I cry, my bad. I'm from LA. Who's from LA in here? Any LA people in the house? Okay, what's up? So I'm from LA, grew up in South Central, to a Belizean mom and a half Trinidadian father. Imagine growing up in LA, speaking Spanish because you were taught that on one side, liking weird stuff, and just not really ever being accepted. Never black enough for the black kids, wasn't Central American enough for the other Central Americans, never really fitting in. I don't know where I'm going with this. What I'm getting at is, when you feel like you don't belong, you long for a way out. And oftentimes, unfortunately, a lot of us can result to alternatives that aren't the best, you know. You might smoke a little, you might drink a little, you might get in a fight or two. But all of those truly are cries for help in their own unique ways. But society makes it to where it might be a joke or you're just lashing out. The special ed kid probably didn't need special ed, he just needed attention. She just needed attention. And so what art really does is gives you not only that attention, but you get to command that attention. You get to direct it. And that's what art is. Art is an energy that you yourself can manipulate. It's releasing, ultimately. So that's what the theme we're going to stick with today. So, grew up in LA, moved to the Inland Empire in 2010. This August will actually make 10 whole years that I have been a long way from home. And so, a lot happened during that time period. Mother, you know, dated. More kids came about. It went from me and my brother to me, my brother, my little sister. And life just got really, really weird when I moved to the Inland Empire. It was already weird in LA. And I might have partook in some things I probably shouldn't have. But what I did find was my voice on paper. I was able to write music and write poetry. It was a newfound talent that kind of came about in 5th grade. Poetry came in 5th grade, I would say. But before then, from about 2 years old to now, I've been a singer. Depending on when you met me, you know a different Lay. And I don't know how I initially got started singing at 2, but it was something I loved. And I remember performing at BB King's 3 times with my gospel band, because I did go to Catholic school. I remember performing at weddings, performing at funerals, family events. And it was the only thing, aside from school, that made me happy. I was a huge nerd, and I just loved everything about school. So I would save worksheets from my teachers, bring them home, and have my little brother do them. I pretended to be his teacher. Fast forward to 5th grade, where we moved to Torrance from LA. So we moved from LA to the South Bay, and that was a little bit different too. Moving to the South Bay was cool, but it was nothing like home. That's where I discovered I actually like to make clothes. Would make clothes, then I got to a school that didn't allow you to wear those clothes. So I had to do something else. At this point, I'd taken a creative writing class, figured out I kind of liked to write, but I could never finish a story. The first book I ever wrote was called Lost Water Under the Sea in 3rd grade, and I think it's still unfinished. So needless to say, I kept discovering that I liked these art forms, but could never finish them. Moving to the Inland Empire did something completely drastic, in my opinion. My mother thinks she saved me. I think in a way Spirit saved myself. It would have been too easy to stay in all the BS that I was used to. And the only reason I longed to return to that was because it was all I was used to. I was afraid of really putting my mark on things. So I got to this new school in Moreno Valley, which I believe made school number 9 or 8, because I've been to 11. Always the new girl, always the new kid. Although I was a social butterfly, I hated it, but I had to do it. Because as a youth, you just want to belong. You want people to understand you. So I moved to Moreno Valley, went to Vista del Lago for 2 years, went to Citrus for a year, Citrus Hills, and then finally graduated from Valley View High School. Okay. So needless to say, even in high school, I went to 3, and it sucked. So I had to figure out how it could not suck so much, and how I could stop dwelling on the past, and how I could constructively move this forward. So I did what I usually did. Gravitated towards all the dudes, because I was a tomboy, and we would do battle ciphers and rap battles at lunch. It evolved to constructing a group of poets called the Fifth Symphony. That was cute. So I eventually put out this magnetic attraction to receive other creatives in my realm, because that's all I wanted to do was just create. I didn't even want to be in school anymore to take away the pain that I was experiencing from home abuse and from everything else I was going through. And so, after all that withered, we went to high school number 2. And high school number 2, I did nothing. I was so distraught. All I could think about was, why me? Why was I here in Moreno Valley? What in the hell does this city have to offer me? Because I couldn't figure it out. That second high school would be where I would get, I don't want to say arrested for the first time, but it would be where we did things stupidly and we did things for other people. And that came with a lot of embarrassment. And so I had to make a decision from that embarrassment. Is this what you want to do? So then, high school number 3 comes about. And everything really does happen in divine timing, and I really want you to keep that in the back of your minds, that divine timing is everything. High school number 3. We get there, and apparently you have to do this thing called a senior project. Is anybody in here familiar with senior projects in high school? Okay, all right. So you know that it lasted all year long, and they sweated and hounded you to get everything right and put this folder together and just kind of document your process. So the senior project asked us to learn something different. Now mind you, I've been a performer all my life. Singing, dancing in school clubs for BSU, performed at Moreno Valley Idol, didn't get past the first round. But we had to figure out something new to learn. It was called a learning curve. I know what it's like to be on the stage. What would it be like if I fell behind the scenes? Learn something different. And that's what we had to do, so I didn't have a choice. So I set out to put on a performing arts showcase. And it was called Performing My Art. My is capitalized. And I had asked singers, dancers, rappers, poets, pretty much all my friends, if they wanted to perform for me. And it was that journey that I learned so much about myself, because life is a journey to uncovering self and helping others unlock themselves. Putting that show together taught me that I almost didn't want to put on another one again. I almost canceled it last minute because the room couldn't get unlocked. Performers bailed. But the show must go on, right? I already printed these tickets. They'd already been on social media. Couldn't back out now. But in listening to others' stories and watching their interpretation of themselves and their lives and what it is that they've been through. It taught me that art isn't just an escape. It's a way to figure you out. It's a visual roadmap. Because it can be very, very difficult to express particular things in words. The fact that I'm even up here expressing this in words is really unique because I never saw myself as a public communicator. But through all these mediums, landing here at Cal State and graduating with graphic design and marketing, there's just more layers to you. And you don't have to confine yourself to that one layer or that one label. You don't have to label yourself at all. That's why I say I'm multifaceted, because I do it all and I like to do what I can. You can't tame me. You can't control me. Art is the same way. You can't control it. You can't do anything but do it. And after you do, there's something so special that comes out of that treacherous digging. Because that's all you're doing is digging deep to visually put together what your mouth really can't. It's gluing the pieces together that you want to fit, not that were given to you. It's ownership of self. So that third high school I went to, where I had to put on a performing arts showcase, and my mother got pregnant, it was a trying time. And at this point, I was working in retail, worked at Spencer's. And I heard the news that another baby boy was coming into the family. And I went to work that day. We had a sale. Clothing was on sale. And I bought him 2 onesies. It was going to be a boy. I bought him 2 onesies. What you see up here today is an outline of one of the onesies I purchased for him. I figured he was going to be this little gent. So the first onesie had a bow tie, and it had polka dots and stripes, and it was all black, and it just looked like a tux, and he was going to be suited and booted. My little brother is going to be suited and booted. It never happened. It unfortunately never happened. And as the youth often blame themselves for their parents breaking up, or someone moving away, I blamed myself for KJ no longer being here. I remember speeding in the Dodge Ram 1500 to get my mom to the hospital. I was actually the one who took her. And she was terrified. She was one of those moms who did not teach you how to drive. It was figure it out and good luck. I figured it out. And I got the call and she needed to go, so I made it happen.